Hey folks, back with more ancient cosmography. Um, so like I was, I'll just deal with this first. So, it's the famous scene, Lascaux caves in France, about 20,000 years oldish. Um, and this whole section is in a separate shaft that seems to just be for the Southwest Pacific Islands. So, the bison seems to be Australia. The recumbent man seems to be Papua, and this guy seems to be the Philippines, with Taiwan and Sulawesi as his feet, and etc. Here's the Atlatl, is the Lesser Sunda Islands there, of course, and Palawan with Busuwanga is actually over here. Palawan and then Busuwanga at the end. And, here's another version showing it flipped the other way. So, in this version, they flip things just like the Egyptian maps, where they'll have some parts of the same map will be prograde and other parts will be retrograde. So in this case, it's this one that's flipped one way, and then these two are flipped the other way. So here I flipped this, or actually this I flipped here. So actually this is the orientation on the wall. So here's Australia with this, his face seems to be Torilla Peninsula, and his horns seem to be Warganborough Peninsula and Curtis Island here, also called Camp Islands, or I don't know, they don't. Australian place names are just all mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it's usually called Curtis Islands. And so, you can see right here, there's the Cape York Peninsula. Well, I'll go in order. 1 is Taiwan. 2 is the Philippines. 3 is Zamboanga, which is the head of the Philippines. So it's flipped around, but otherwise the same. 4 is the front feet, which is Sulawesi, Indonesia, which is up here. It's actually raised up more in reality. 5 is Palawan. 5 Palawan right there with Busuwanga there, and then 6 Papua. 7 is the Lesser Sunda Islands, the Atlatl, and the 8 is Australia with the Cape York Peninsula. And 5 is also shown zoomed in here, Busuwanga, the bird, the beak here, and everything. So, and this scene, it's all about the straits. And so it's largely about this strait, which is just this little strait right there, right? It's the straits are the choke points that are, thin, narrow areas that separate much larger bodies of water. So, they can be very important, strategic, and certainly they're the most important things for sailors to memorize because they're the most critical. So it's like the figures facing each other, that represents the straits. So Australia and Papua are facing each other, that represents this strait. And we can see that basically Papua's dick is boning like Australia's, like, or it's near like the hair that's hanging down under Australia's head, which I think that hair represents this whole, it represents the Great Barrier Reef here, which is not super visible there, but this is the Great Barrier Reef is right here, exactly where that hair is. So basically, it's just pointing out that this Papua's dick is in the same region as the Great Barrier Reef, which is true, even though, of course, they're flipped at opposite orientations. Like in this guy's flipped around. Or you could say this one's flipped around, whichever way. And so that's an important strait to learn from this, but also these two are facing each other. And that's an important strait. That's a bunch of important straits. So that seems to represent, the straits of, Mindoro Strait right here. Subutu Passage right here, and Balabak Strait right here. And in the full version of it, this doesn't really show it, but actually, we can see here that this guy, Zamboanga, is spitting out all this venom. So he's like a snake-headed mammal spitting out venom, and actually the dots go down all the way to like here or something. There's like these ones. So I think that represents, I know that represents these islands right here, the Sulu Islands, which block one side of the Sulu Sea, just as Palawan blocks the other side of the Sulu Sea. They create the Sulu Sea between them. And so that's the major strait. To get out, you have to go around the venom. But the other side that isn't shown there is this, that actually the bird is shitting all over the place. And so you also have to go around that. This is why this is important, because to go around to do the Mindoro Strait, you then have to make sure you navigate around all these little islands on this side, whereas on the other side it's clear. On the south side, or whatever this is, or north side or something, it's all shitty. And I guess that's the south side. And so if you come through here, you have to go right between the shit, basically. And that's the Balabak Strait. Go between the poo. So anyway, once you memorize this, you basically learn you got to go around the bird, around the pole, between the poo, and around the spit. So the spit. So basically, you got to get to Subutu Strait or Subutu Passage, which is underneath the spit. So it's shit and spit all the way down. And all right, my phone's probably about to cut me off, but I've been studying this, the dreaming song lines, basically, which is what this would all be accompanied by. These would not just be maps, but there would almost certainly be songs and dances and costumes and musical accompaniment, flute and drums, maybe other different special effects and whatnot, like they used in a lot of ancient religions. Like they would use wires to appear to fly and stuff like that. So, they went all out. It's like the source of all the arts was originally in religion and science. So let's see, 73. So yeah, these are the song lines of the Australian Aborigines, which seem to be the exact same as the spells of Egypt and the Sumerians, the Aztecs, the Mayans. All the spell songs are basically to memorize navigation and geography and astronomy. By singing the songs in the appropriate sequence, Aboriginal people could navigate vast distances, often traveling through the deserts of Australia's interior. So the Book of Two Ways has that, to travel around the entire planet if you understand the symbolism of its spells. And let's see. Since a songline can span the lands of several different language groups, different parts of the song are said to be in those different languages. Languages are not a barrier because the melodic contour of the song describes the nature of the land over which the song passes. So I'm sure you will find that in other ancient traditions, if it's possible to still find it, if the remnants of it remain. The rhythm is what is crucial to understanding the song. Listening to the song of the land is